For those of you just joining us, we're covering breaking news out of Iran, and the helicopter carrying Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, as well as the foreign minister, has gone missing in bad weather conditions in the north of the country. President Raisi was reportedly on his way to the city of Tabriz in northern Iran. That's near the border. And President Raisi was in the region to inaugurate a dam and also to hold talks with their Azerbaijani president. We have Resul Serdar joining us from the Iranian capital, Tehran. Resul, what are you hearing at this hour?
Well, as of now, it's now confirmed that the helicopter that was carrying the president of Iran, the head of the government in this country, the second man in command in the country, and the country's top diplomat, the foreign minister, Hussein Emir Abdullahian, and the local governor of the province of East Azerbaijan were all in the same helicopter, and that helicopter has crashed. The state media still is using different terms. Some of them are saying that it was a hard landing, but some say that it was a crash. But in any way, we know that the situation is quite serious here because the helicopter is still missing, and the rescue teams have not been able to reach the site of the incidents. So just to a little bit roll back, today the president of Iran, Ebrahim Raisi, and the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, they have attended an inauguration ceremony of a dam alongside the Iranian-Azerbaijani border. And after 3 years of tensionous relations between these two countries, they have took the opportunity, they used this as an opportunity to somehow restore the ties. And today they met there, and there were lots of delegations from both sides, the top diplomats of the countries, politicians, and including the head of the state in Azerbaijan and the head of government in Iran. They have sent out warm messages, the cooperation, the good neighborly relations between the two countries, trying to diffuse the tension. So after the inauguration, President Raisi and his teams, the top Iranian diplomats and politicians, they took on three helicopters. Two of that helicopters, they have landed successfully. But the one that was carrying President Ebrahim Raisi, the foreign minister Emir Abdullahian, and the local governor of East Azerbaijan province has crashed somewhere in between Julfa and Varzegan in East Azerbaijan province, which is roughly between 70 to 100 kilometers away to Tabriz, the largest city, Iranian city in the north of the country. So here, the rescue teams, they say that they have arrived to the area. However, they have not been able to still have an access to the particular, the site, the spot of the incident. They are now somewhere in between Julfa and Varzegan, but they have not been able to detect the spot where the helicopter just crashed. And so as of now, we do not know whether there has been any communication between the president, foreign minister, the local governor, and the other people that were in the same helicopter, between them and the rescue teams. We do not know whether there has been any sort of the communication. And we do not know whether the president is injured, the top diplomat of Iran is injured, the local governor or the others that were on the same helicopter are injured or not, or even maybe more seriously. But what we know, the helicopter is now missing, and the rescue teams say they're in frantic efforts to reach to the area, to reach to that support. But they're also saying that it is a mountainous area, the forest, and it is rainy, it is foggy, and all of these factors combined together are hammering their rescue efforts. And now that particularly it's evening in Iran, and we are getting into night, so it's going to get darker and darker. And all of these factors combined are telling us that there is a very difficult task ahead of the rescue teams to reach the president. We do not know, however, as I said, the situation of the president, of the foreign minister, of the local governor, and the others that were on the same helicopter. So one thing to note, Dareen, here, we're talking about Iranian aviation sector. So it has been under sanctions almost since the Islamic Revolution in 1979. We're talking about almost 4 decades of the sanctions, and they are quite outdated. So due to these sanctions, the Iranian authorities, institutions, the aviation sector cannot renew the outdated parts. They cannot replace them with the modern equipment. So the helicopters, the passenger planes, or any equipment that is being used in aviation sector are some of them decade-old equipments. And we see such crashes, such aviation accidents quite often in this country, and many of them are deadly ones. So that is why when there are the reports about any aerial vehicle being crashed, so it has to be taken quite serious. So the accident took place in the East Azerbaijan province, where the majority of the population are the Turkish-speaking Azeri people, and it's at the north of the country. It is relatively a mountainous area. It's challenging in terms of the terrain, and now the rescue teams are saying that it is rainy, it is foggy, and it is quite difficult for them really to have an access to this area. But as of now, what we know, what is confirmed, is that the helicopter that was carrying president of the country, the top diplomat of the country, the foreign minister, and the local governor of East Azerbaijan province, that helicopter crashed, and it is still missing. They do not know the exact location. They are trying to find it out, but they are saying that the weather conditions are making the things quite difficult.
Okay, Resul, thank you for giving us all that information from Tehran. We'll let you go for the time being, and we'll speak to Mohammad Marandi, who's a political analyst, also joining us from Tehran. Mr. Marandi, thanks for taking the time to speak to us. What are you hearing on your end? I mean, there's still a lot that we don't know. What do you know?
I think your reporter gave an accurate description of the situation. The helicopter was flying in a mountainous region. It's also a dense forest as well. There were 3 helicopters, and there was the pilot was forced to make a hard landing. This is what we've heard so far. And the rescue teams are moving in that direction, but it is a very, as I said, it's mountainous, and there are forests, and it's very foggy, and it's also raining. So it's going to be some time possibly before we get news of the president and his delegation that was going to the city of Tabriz from the border area.
So you then expect it to be a challenging rescue operation, particularly in that area?
Yes, because we've seen footage of the area. There's a very heavy fog as we speak. We've had, the last few weeks in Iran, actually, we've had a lot more rain and even snow than we usually would have during this time of year. We had a flood in the city of Mashhad to the northeast of the country, which killed a number of people. So this weather is not usual for this time of year, and the region is mountainous. So we don't know yet. Hopefully the president will be found safe and sound, but we are waiting for further news, just like everyone else.
And we understand, Mr. Marandi, that the foreign minister as well, Amir Abdullahian, was among the passengers in that helicopter incident.
That's right, because they met with the president of the Republic of Azerbaijan and on the border area to inaugurate a major project. And so obviously the foreign minister would be a part of the delegation. The president was also planning to visit a couple of provinces in the north. He does travel a lot throughout the country. I think we have 30 provinces, and I think every year he's promised to travel to each province at least one. So he's constantly on the move. But this time round, it's caused obviously concern for everyone. People are concerned, but we're hopeful.
What would be the state of the helicopter that he was traveling in and that convoy? We understand there were 3 helicopters in that convoy. And I ask you this because our reporters have been pointing out that Iran, of course, has been under decades of U.S. sanctions. So if you can tell us a little bit of how that's affected the aviation industry and the maintenance of such equipment.
Well, I don't know about these particular helicopters myself, but obviously the Americans have put severe sanctions on the Iranian aviation industry. Iranian airlines are always seeking for spare parts. Over the past few years, they've been able to make their own spare parts for many of the aircrafts or all of their aircraft, but it is still a problem. But I don't know what is the make of these helicopters, how old they are, if they have any problem. It does seem, though, that there was very bad weather, and it is very foggy. And the footage from the rescue teams does show that it's very difficult to see there. So it could be that the helicopter pilot, since the people on his helicopter were more important as government officials than the other 2, didn't want to risk it, and he swiftly brought down the helicopter. It could be something else, but again, we'll have to wait and see. I don't have any information at all that could be helpful in that regard.
Right.
All I can say is that what I'm seeing from the television footage, visibility is very low.
Look, then I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I just wondered what you understand from when it's being described by Iranian media as this helicopter having to make an emergency landing as well as a hard landing. I mean, do you have any more details on exactly what would have happened?
It could be many things. I would expect that it would be that due to low visibility, the pilot either wanted to bring the helicopter down quickly, or that he suddenly saw something and quickly sought to bring down the helicopter. There is a report, and I don't know if this is true or not, that one of the people in the helicopter made a brief phone call, but because the connection is very bad, they couldn't speak. But I don't know if that's true or not. That was in a report that I saw in one of the news agencies. So it's at this stage, it's all speculation.
Yeah, and we are working to confirm all the information, but we'll let you go for now. Thank you so much, Mohammad Marandi, for speaking to us from Tehran.
Thank you.
We have Al Jazeera's correspondent, Ali Hashem, who has covered Iran extensively. You're joining us here, Ali. Are you hearing anything on your end?
Well, just the same. I mean, till the moment, it's speculations, and as Dr. Marandi was saying also, many analyses, but there is nothing solid yet. Weather is very bad. Area
Tell
is
us what we know at this hour.
What we know for now is that a helicopter carrying the president, the foreign minister, Hashem Abdulhayan, the governor of Eastern Azerbaijan, and the Imam of Tabriz were all on the same plane, had to do a hard landing, as was reported. According to the interior minister, till the moment, it's very difficult to reach the scene of the incident. And the country's institutions, the Red Crescent, the army, the IRGC, the security, they're all mobilized right now to find the president. For now, the president and his crew and the team in this plane are missing.
So what would that mobilization look like? What would be happening right now?
Cars, planes, people coming out from every area in the surroundings. I think that the IRGC will be leading such an operation because they have a lot of resources to be used in such situations. And given the fact also, Iran has a lot of experiences in such incidents
What do you mean
over
by
the
that?
past years. Plane crashes, helicopter crashes, these things have been happening, and you just discussed that. This is one of the reasons one of the reasons is the sanctions, because the lack of spare parts, very old helicopters, very old planes. This is one of the reasons.
So these types of accidents are not uncommon, is what
No,
you're
this
saying.
is not uncommon. Several army generals, several officials were victims of such crashes, of such incidents. Just last year, the Minister of Sports was on a plane that crashed. He didn't die, but at the end, he was on a plane that crashed. And many people in the past also went through this. Several, as I said, army generals also were killed in similar crashes, especially helicopter crashes. And what I'm thinking is that this area is mountainous, it's very difficult, and that's why the president had to go there with a helicopter. So it seems there are many limitations to arrive at the point where the president was going with a car or with a normal plane. So they had to take this helicopter. The problem is that on their way back, this accident or this incident took place, because till the moment we don't have a clear definition of what happened.
Has there been any reporting on whether anyone from the Iranian establishment was in touch with those on the other helicopters, perhaps? Has there been any communication from that area?
Let me tell you, over the past at least 1 hour, there were several rumors. For example, one of the rumors was that the president wasn't on the helicopter and he was in a car on his way to Tabriz, to the city of Tabriz. But later on, we understood that this is not true, and the agency that published this line deleted it. There was another line, I think also your guest was talking about, that a line of communication was established with a member of the team, of the president's team, but later on there was no possibility to talk because the line was very bad. And no one is able really to confirm these reports. The big question is whether the president had a satellite phone on his plane, for example, for such a situation, for emergency situations. And I mean, these are the questions that might be asked. But for now, what we know and what's obvious is that the president is missing. And the whole country is looking for the president. And as we were reporting in the past hour, a Fars News agency is now calling on the people to pray for the president.
Ali, tell us what the president was doing on this particular day in that particular area. I mean, we've seen the pictures. We'll play them if we can, of him meeting up with the president of Azerbaijan.
This is the northern borders of Iran with Azerbaijan. Of course, the state, the Republic of Azerbaijan, is on the borders of Iran from the area of East Azerbaijan province and West Azerbaijan province. So the president was there. He met with President Aliyev, opened an invitation, and he inaugurated a dam, a project there. And as we saw in the pictures, early pictures, there were many Iranian ministers. And actually, it seems that these ministers were in the other planes. So they were with him. The Minister of Roads, Mr. Pezerbash, was with him, and we saw others. So, and then after the inauguration of the project and the deliberations between the president and his counterpart, the Azeri counterpart, the whole event came to an end, and the president had to go back to Tabriz, which is the closest city to the border there. And of course, what we know now is that the plane went missing. And at the beginning, there was a report of hard landing, but given the fact that the plane is missing and there is no communication, I think the term itself, hard landing, was used just to describe the incident. But no one knows what happened really with the plane.
Because it's interesting. You said earlier on, just the last question for you, Ali. You said earlier on that first it was being reported as a hard landing, and then language changed to accident. Incident.
This is what the Interior Minister, Mr. Wahidi, said, Ahmed Wahidi.
Should we read anything into that?
Well, the problem is that we don't have solid information.
Right.
So we're relying on the Iranian sources to tell us what's happening, and they don't know what happened.
Right.
So this is the issue right now. I think Iran is, all the institutions in Iran are currently mobilized to know what happened and to find the president, first of all, and to understand what happened. And there might be very big questions after this incident.
Okay.
It depends on the safety and the health of the president.
Okay, Ali Hashem, thank you for the time being.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.